Let's start with what to do if the behavior you want never occurs. At the Yale Parenting Center, we encounter situations like this all the time. For example, in one case, a 6-year-old girl named Leah had an explosive tantrum anytime she didn't get her way or wasn't ready to do something when her parents asked her to. The tantrums were effective in getting her parents to stop making demands, but of course, they couldn't stop making some requests and saying no to her at least once in a while. Leah's parents described her tantrums as explosive, a combination of being wildly upset, hitting her parents, throwing things, throwing herself on the floor, and continuing to cry or scream inconsolably for long stretches. Often, her parents would unwittingly prolong the tantrum by holding Leah to restrict her movements, or by yelling or threatening in response to her. We asked whether there was ever a non-explosive tantrum. If there were milder tantrums, we could praise those, increase the likelihood of milder tantrums, and shape increasingly milder tantrums on the way to eliminating all tantrums. But no, the parents reported that every one of Leah's tantrums was explosive and way out of proportion to its apparent cause. Simulations are perfect for this situation because they allow the child to practice the desired behavior under conditions when everyone is calm and when there is virtually no chance of a real tantrum. We went over how to do this with Leah's parents, and then they introduced the task to Leah when she was calm. Her mother said, "I have an idea for a new game I would like to play. This is called the tantrum game." The exact name doesn't matter. Here's how it works. First, you can earn points in this game. You can see that antecedents are already in play here as part of the simulation. We use the notion of game and make this playful because these are setting events that increase the likelihood of compliance and getting the exact behavior you have specified to the child. Similarly, the comment that points can be earned serves as a setting event for the child doing what you will request. Delivered calmly, with a smile, in a playful way, a reminder that your child can earn points is very different from parental pressure, desperation, authoritarian commands, no choice. Mentioning the points also puts the enticing cues of rewards right before the behavior and establishes the incentive front and center. This need be done only once or twice early on in the program. We will want to fade the prompts as we go along. So Leah's mom went on to explain that this game is just pretend, and that the goal was to see if Leah could have a good tantrum. "If you have a good tantrum, you earn tickets that I have here," said the mom, showing Leah a roll of carnival-like tickets, since Leah loved carnivals. But points on a chart posted on the refrigerator would also be fine. "And with these tickets, you can earn some great rewards." These rewards were mostly privileges, minor ones that mattered a lot to Leah and weren't a big deal for her parents. Staying up 10 minutes later, choosing the menu for dinner, plus a very cheap hair ornament or two. Leah really liked arranging her own hair, that kind of thing. The whole apparatus of points and earned rewards is not absolutely necessary. Praise works just fine as a reward when delivered correctly, but the points help structure the task for everyone and make it much easier for both the child and the parent to follow through. The mom then explained to Leah that in a good tantrum, she could get upset, but she couldn't scream or hit anyone. We had selected these two components of the tantrum to eliminate first, to initiate the process of gradually shaping milder and milder tantrums. For shaping, we do not need or even want a perfect tantrum, only a milder than usual tantrum. Remember, the key to shaping is to start out keeping the bar low. If the bar is lower than you think it should be, you are doing a good job of resisting the natural impulse to ask for too much behavior too soon. After the mother had explained the game, she said, "In 1 minute, I'm going to say no to you. This is just pretend, but I'm going to say, no, you can't watch TV tonight. If you say back to me, why not, in a calm way, and without crying or hitting me, you can earn a ticket. Remember, this is just a game. You really can watch TV tonight." All of these prefatory comments are great antecedents, First, they state exactly what the parent wants, prompts. Second, the tone of the interaction, calm, playful, in the context of a pretend game, setting events, is completely altered from the usual one in which tantrums occur, all of which maximizes the likelihood that the child will do the behaviors, will actually enjoy doing them, and is likely to want to practice a couple of times to earn praise or points. Remember, the goal is to get behavior to occur, and to occur repeatedly. Then, the mom leaned over to Leah, smiled, and whispered prompts to help Leah succeed. "Okay, here we go. It's just pretend, and if you have a good tantrum, you can get tickets." And she held the tickets up so Leah could see them. When developing behavior, one wants to have prompts come immediately before the behaviors are to occur, at least initially. Then she said, in a regular voice, but gently, "You can't watch TV tonight." With all this heavy use of good antecedents, Leah was unlikely to have a tantrum and very likely to earn the tickets plus praise. So they began, and she had a good tantrum, milder than usual and mostly play-acted, and the mother provided effusive praise. "I can't believe you had such a good tantrum. You were pretty calm, you kept your hands to yourself, and you didn't throw anything." Then she rubbed Leah's head affectionately and gave her a ticket. They could have stopped there for the day, but practice opportunities are key to this approach. We wanted the child to do it all again. The mother gave her a new antecedent, a challenge, as I mentioned in the previous chapter. With a playful, mischievous smile on her face, she looked at Leah and said, "I'll bet you can't do 2 good tantrums in a row. No 6-year-old on earth could do that." As has been the case virtually every time we have used this technique, the child, in this case Leah, said while nodding vigorously, "No, I can do it. I can do 2. The mom replied with playful skepticism, "I don't know, but okay," as if sighingly giving in against her better judgment. "Let's try." They repeated the game with a different scenario, telling Leah that she couldn't go to a friend's house, and of course Leah, who had been nicely primed to succeed, won again. Effusive praise and a ticket followed. That could be the end of simulation for that day, with much accomplished. The program would be repeated the next day, and the next. The child should have many opportunities within a fairly brief time. At the Parenting Center, we recommend at least a couple of such prompted trials per day, but there is no research to support any particular number, and we have worked with parents whose schedules restricted them to just 1 per day. The general rule is, the more practice opportunities and trials in which behavior can occur and be reinforced, the better. I mentioned that shaping may be part of simulations. We first want the child to have a milder tantrum than usual during the simulation. Shaping here may refer to beginning by omitting just one component, so a good tantrum might be no hitting or no swearing, depending on the ingredients of the tantrum, and then gradually omitting more. Over the course of shaping, antecedents are used to help move forward. "I'll bet you can't have a tantrum this time with no hitting and no swearing, but if you don't hit and don't swear, you can earn 2 tickets, and so on. After the simulations begin, there are likely to be unprompted occasions where the child does not have a tantrum or has a low-magnitude tantrum, a little whining. That is, the simulations also affect behavior in non-simulated conditions. You should enthusiastically praise these unprompted, mild or milder than usual tantrums outside of the tantrum game the first few times they occur. The effect of this is to greatly increase the likelihood of milder real-life tantrums. Yet the key to getting this behavior is several practice trials in simulated circumstances. In Leah's case, the mom practiced the simulated tantrums for 6 days in the course of a week. She missed one of the days. Leah got the hang of it, and her pretend tantrums became milder even without shaping. To the mom's shock, Leah had 2 mild versions of a regular tantrum, non-simulated, in a grocery store and about going to bed on time. We had practiced for this moment, so the mom was sure to be very effusive. "I can't believe it. We weren't even playing the tantrum game, and you had such a big girl tantrum." No points are really needed here, and praise delivered well will do the trick. It took about 2 weeks to get tantrums in everyday situations down to a tolerable level and frequency, at which point the game ended because Leah's parents felt that tantrums were no longer a big problem. About a month later, Leah had a pretty explosive tantrum. Not as bad as her old doozies, but worse than her recent mild ones. The mom suppressed the urge to panic about a relapse and just walked away so as to not make things worse. The parents attributed the more severe tantrum to the fact that Leah was very tired after their return from an all-day drive. It turned out to be an isolated event, and Leah's parents dealt with it by ignoring it. I should note that parents are often stunned when we suggest that they praise a tantrum in any form. They want to get rid of tantrums or make them minimal, and so they logically see praise for their child disagreeing with them or making a scene as exactly the wrong approach. It galls them to reward any kind of tantrum, even one that's notably milder than the usual meltdown. This is when I remind them that as parents, they often do reward behaviors that are just little approximations of what they want. I've already mentioned the shaping of a very young child's use of the words mommy and daddy, and there are other common examples. When you're teaching your child how to swing a bat or catch a baseball, you are very tolerant of imperfections along the way and praise mediocre versions of the behavior as part of the process of getting to more skilled versions of it. Teaching your child to ice skate or to ride a bike involves a lot of practice under fake conditions, holding the child's arms or holding the bike so it cannot possibly tip over. Yes, mild tantrums are different from these examples because no one is calm or having fun, and the two parties have competing views about what should happen. So praising a mild tantrum can feel counterintuitive. But forget for a moment that the behavior in question is a tantrum and just think of it as behavior. We have two powerful tools, shaping and simulation, to get the behavior you want, and rewarding a milder tantrum makes perfect sense.